morning. And again, we're going through the new convention card. By the way, does anybody not have a copy of the new convention card?
I'm not sure if I do, Jack.
Okay. You would pass that. Anybody else not have one?
I had mine, I was using it, you know, when we were talking on the phone, I didn't.
Okay, anybody else need one?
You wanna?
Sure. Thank you.
Please, thank you.
You keep that.
Anybody else?
Oh, we need one more?
One more? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're on the bottom part. And last time we talked about bottom part of the right-hand side. And we're talking about, last time we ended up with jump shifts, right? Weak and strong jump shifts.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about new minor forcing last time, right? So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do suit forcing, interfering with their strong bit, and we're gonna talk about doubles. And before I do that, I wanted to go through a common thing that once you've been playing for a bit, you should get right. But you gotta make sure you're playing with a partner who gets it right too. Like, no bid is a good bid if your partner doesn't know what it is, right? But it's kind of standard, and none of the things that I teach here is stuff that I dreamt up, right? This came right from an Adam Parrish newsletter. He emails me his newsletter. Some of you might get it also. Anyway, it's free if you email him. He'll put you on the list because he'll try and sell you stuff. But anyway, he's an expert, and this is standard. You open a diamond, or it could be club, it doesn't matter, but you open up a minor. And say, and you might have this hand, right? You would open up the dime. And then they bid a heart, right? As soon as they bid a heart, you should be feeling squeamish, right? Part of it is think as the bidding goes on. As soon as they bid a heart behind your diamond, you should be squeamish. Why? Because you're going to have a problem, right? Because you don't have a heart stop. So you're thinking that you might want to play no trump, but playing no trump, how many hearts does this person have? Almost all the time, at least 5, right? You just see 5 hearts coming right down at you and going down in no trump. So you should be feeling squeamish before it even gets any further. And then your partner doubles. That's your standard, right? Negative double, right, Carolyn? That's what you're well familiar with. Probably all of you. That's a negative double. That shows exactly 4 spades, right? The negative double. If you had 5 of them, what would you do?
One spade.
Yeah, you just bid a spade. So when you only have 4, that's how you show it, with a negative double. So they know they have exactly 4 spades.
And he's lying again.
Well, you don't know his hand. I didn't show you his hand.
Oh, okay, I
This is
thought
your
that
hand.
was, oh,
This
that's
is
not
your
his
hand.
That's
Okay.
open the same.
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
get to look at your
I
partner's
thought that
hand.
was the partner's hand, okay.
You have to pay extra to look at your partner's hand.
Gotta have a mirror.
Yeah. So anyway, this is your hand. Your partner showed exactly 4 spades. This guy passes, which you also don't like, because if he bids, you're off the hook. You don't need to bid, right?
Yeah.
So like the worst thing possible is happening to you, right? They're bidding a suit, you don't have his stopper in, and the guy who's in front of you is passing, forcing you to bid, right?
He has some spades.
He might. He might, but for sure, you don't want to be playing 1 heart doubles, right?
No.
You want to be defending against that. Among other things, you know that things are splitting real good for them. Like 3 little hearts is often called the death holding, right?
Oh,
Because
what?
the death holding.
Yeah.
Because things are splitting good for them, right? If you've got 3 of them, right? And you've got three little ones. So you're pretty well guaranteeing that the hearts are gonna split for them. You never wanna play one heart double. So you gotta do something, right? And it's not gonna be passed, right? Not with those three little hearts. Well, what are you gonna do?
Well, you open 12 and then partner's got a double, so he's got to be close to opening.
No, he doesn't. This double,
Oh, right.
I might have like 7 points here for that double. All I'm showing is I have enough to answer, and I have 4 spades. Like I could have much more, but I could have as few as 7 points,
That's
maybe
right.
even 6.
Well, 0 to 8, that's right.
Well, there's no limit to the game. There's no limit, but it's enough to answer. That's all you know.
Do you not just then bid a spade to let them know that I have also spades?
Well, typically, if you show bid a spade, what does it show?
But you got 4.
It's showing 4, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's what he has, 4.
You only got 3, right? King,
Oh,
jack,
sorry,
small.
sorry, yeah.
But that's a good idea, like if you're not sure, because it's not like on the board, like with the actual cards, you can get your clubs in with the spades and tell your partner, oh, I thought it was a spade. But here it's on the board, so I can't do that.
How about 2 clubs? You gotta bid something.
Well, you have to bid something, but it's a dangerous bid, because what is 2 clubs bid? You're telling them,
Should have 5,
Yeah.
5, 4.
yeah, you're showing you have, I could be 4-4, I could have 4 diamonds and 4 clubs, but I'm showing 4 clubs, and once I do that, you know, if my partner has 3 diamonds, or 2 diamonds and 3 clubs, something like that, I could be playing 2 clubs with 7 of them, right? You don't really want to be, you don't want to raise the level in a suit that you don't even know you have a fit for, in a suit that you're lying about to begin with. But you're right, you got to do something, and it's not going to be good, right? But yeah, that's a good thing with playing online. Like if you're stuck like that, just don't do anything, and the clock will run out. You don't have to. But here, you know, you're not allowed to do that. So this is. You were pretty well right before.
2 spades.
Not 2 spades, but 1 spade.
1 spade.
1
Oh,
spade,
yeah, 1 spade, right.
but the point is, when you have this bid, if your partner knows that this should show exactly
3 spades.
3 spades, and
Since you didn't bid no trump, you don't have a hard stopper.
Right.
yeah, and exactly right. I don't have a hard stopper, and you'd save 2 spades for what?
If you had 4.
If you got 4.
Exactly. Shows 4 spades. So your partner, with this auction, which is a common auction, if your partner knows what you're doing, that's what those bids mean, and it's it gets you out of a tough spot. Because if this guy didn't bid a heart, what would your bid mean? What would your bid be if this guy just passed?
Well, you wouldn't
You
double.
bid 1 spade.
Yeah, well, this guy, yeah, it went, say your partner just bid,
1 diamond passed.
1 spade.
You have 4
Yeah.
spades.
yeah, say your partner was the one who bid a heart, what would you bid?
Oh,
You just hit with that
Or
hand.
one, or say he bid 1 spade, say it went 1 diamond, you pass partner, one spade, and they just pass, and it comes back to you. What would you do now?
One no.
Yeah, now it's one no, right?
Exactly.
This only comes into play with what Bob said before, right? Basically, I don't have a hard stop, so I can't bid no trump. I'm stuck here.
Yep.
So we'll play in the 7-card spade suit because it's the best we can do, and we're staying at the 1 level. Like I'm telling you, I don't have a very good hand, but we got 7 decent spades. Good chance we'll make 1. We don't want to go up to the 2 level and maybe worse, right? So anyway, that's the sequence, but the key is they just bid a major that you can't stand.
Yeah.
So you can't bid no trump anymore.
Takes that off the table.
So then the definition of 1 spade has now changed. It's just 3 of them. Because I'm trapped, and you gotta realize that I'm trapped. So if you look over there, your partner looks clueless, you know, don't do this. But assuming your partner watched me on the video, they would know, right?
Yeah.
1 spade is showing exactly 3 spades, because if I have 4, I'll bid 2 spades. And that'd be fine, right? Because we have a 4-4 spade fit, so we could play at the 2 level, right?
Right.
So that's kind of how that works, and a lot of people don't know that.
They flip the opening hand spades and hearts, just flip the S and H.
Okay. Yeah, well now I
And
know.
now it goes 1 diamond, 1 spade, double. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Okay, well, again, when they doubled the 1 spade, by the way, it goes 1 diamond, 1 spade double. What does the negative double show now?
Yeah,
Hearts and clubs.
Hearts and clubs.
Shows 4 hearts.
shows the other 2 suits, don't they?
Support,
No.
support for the
No,
diamond.
it's a negative double, it's still a negative double, but now, it's, the only thing it's showing is hearts,
Right.
and it's 4 plus hearts there. I could have 5 hearts and make that bid,
And now you can bid
because
double.
it's not like before, because I can't bid 1 heart anymore, right? Before, when they bid 1 heart, I could bid 1 spade, and I'm good with my 5. But to bid 2 hearts, you can't do that just because you have 5 of them. You have to have 10 points and 5 of them, right?
So if you
So-
don't have 10 points, you do the double.
Right.
Right, gotcha.
No, even
I
if you
agree.
have 4, even if you have 5. So anyway, that's an important thing. So your partner could have more than 4.
So what's your next bid now?
Well,
You got the same issue, you don't have
you have the
spade
same
style.
issue as right, because now you have the death holding in spades, and you sure don't want to play 1 spade double. What are you gonna do? Can't bid 1 no trump. You don't want to rebid the diamonds. It's basically the same thing. Except now, I'm still gonna have to bid the hearts.
2 hearts.
But now, I'm not promising, but I'd be 2 hearts whether I had 3 or 4 of them. I'd still be 2 hearts. It's like I'm trapped, hearts is the best I can do, right?
Yeah.
Looking at my hand, I don't want to defend. I don't want to play no trump. I can't let the clock run out, so 2 hearts.
And so, and that double says I've got less than 10 points, right?
No, it could be 10 points and 4 hearts.
I understand it says 4 hearts, but 4 or 5 hearts, but 10 points or
Well,
less.
4 or more hearts.
Yeah, 4 or more hearts, but 10 points or less, or
No,
less?
it's unlimited.
Unlimited on points.
It's unlimited on,
Now say that again on,
well,
on
no,
a
you're right,
double.
it's less, you're correct, it's
Less
10 or
than
less, because
Okay.
unless I have exactly 4 hearts. then I could have 4 hearts and like 11 points or 12 points even.
Okay,
But if I have 5 hearts and 11 points, then I gotta bid the hearts, right?
correct.
The point is, to go to the 2 level, I have to have 10 or more points.
Plus the open.
Yeah, no, not open 10 or more to go to the 2 level. My partner opened, but to push the bidding to the 2
Yeah,
level,
okay.
I have to have 10 or more points. And,
You have to be careful, because if you're playing 2 over 1, you're short a couple points.
well, basically, they interfere here, so the 2 over 1 is off.
2 over 1 off,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, whenever they interfere, you're in scramble mode. That's why it's always good for you to interfere, right?
Right.
Which brings us, any more on this before we go
Doesn't
ahead?
it, on that negative double, doesn't it also presume that you have clubs, but for sure you have 4 cards in the unbid major?
There's a good chance I have clubs, but I'm not promising it.
Right.
All I'm promising is I got hearts. And my hearts in hand, they're not good enough to bid 2, I can't go to the 2 level, otherwise I would.
Hmm, okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
So that therefore, then you do the negative double.
yeah, the negative double is a more flexible bid, it gives you some breathing room. But basically, if I'm strong enough to bid 2 hearts, I would do it. But what's strong enough to bid 2 hearts? 10 or more points, and 5 hearts, right?
5 or
That's
more.
strong enough to bid it. So I don't have that when I bid the negative double, but I could have 4 hearts and like 11 points. And I could have 5 hearts and like 7 points, something like that, to make the negative double. And a lot of times I'll have clubs, but I'm not promising it. Okay, back to, this one is kind of easy. 4th suit forcing the game. That's, you can see it on the bottom of the sheet there. It has 4th suit forcing, you see it there?
The photocopy's not very good. Mine isn't anyway.
And it says 1 round in a box.
Yeah, well, it's 1 round or the game. GF is game force, right?
We
Yeah.
both need,
So
All
this
4 of
is
them?
4th suit
we got
forcing.
it.
Yeah, so it could either be 1 round or the game. There are a couple things to keep in mind for that. By the way, the basic rule is if neither partner has
If it's not for game, then you click
bid
1 round.
no trump or passed a new suit by responder, right, not by anybody, but by responder, is forcing for 1 round. You have to bid again, right? Whether you have that checked off or not, if we have an auction that goes 1 club, 1 heart, this guy got a bid, right?
Yeah,
I don't care what you have, you can bid.
1 spade.
Yeah, it might be 1 spade, if he bids 1 spade, and if this guy bids 2 diamonds, it's 100% forcing, this guy has to bid, right? As long as neither
Oh,
of
yeah,
them,
right.
as long as neither of them bid no trump or passed.
Mhm.
Okay, back to 4th suit forcing. I like to play forcing the game because it's almost always forcing 1 round even without this. And it gives you, when you're bidding games and slams, what you want to do is conserve room so you bid the right one. That's the idea. Like, it's good to bid in the right game, in the right slam. So if you conserve space in the bidding, as soon as I make the 4th suit, I'm telling my partner, you can't stop until we get the game. Like, you can't change what the bid is. You can't say, oh, I lost an ace, right? There's none of that. Once you do it forcing the game, it's forcing the game. And you keep the bidding low. And the better you become, the more important it is to conserve space. And the other side of that, when they're doing that to you, the more important it is that you get in their way when you can, when it's not committing suicide, right?
Yeah.
You always want to interfere, you always want to take up bidding room, make it hard for them. And that's especially true if you're playing somebody who's better than you. Like, it kind of evens the odds, like, okay, I'm going to take away your bidding space because I think I can. So you don't do it, you have to look at the vulnerability in the cards you have. Typically, you do that with distribution. When you have good distribution and you're not vulnerable, you should be thinking, I'm going to get in this auction and I'm going to give them a headache.
Okay, this,
That's right.
Jeff, in this particular case, let's say you did have, the guy on the right hand had 4-4 in the majors. So would you want to tell him you do have support in
Oh, yeah,
spades?
if it
Or
goes
would
like-
you want to just say you're forcing and go on
No,
from there?
it's better
Tell him
to tell your partner
what you got.
right away, right?
Okay.
Once you know you have a fit, clue your partner in.
Okay.
That way you won't be looking for new partners. as
Yeah.
well.
So the two diamond bid there is that artificial or is it
If
real
we-
diamonds?
If you're playing forcing a game, it's artificial. Doesn't say anything about diamonds. It just says, I have enough, like I probably have at least 12 points, right? Because you haven't shown any more than a fairly minimal opener. I'm saying we're going to game if you're playing forcing a game. If we're not playing that, then the two diamond bid is
to play. Or-
not to play, it's still forcing, but it's
Okay.
only forcing for one round.
One
And it shows a diamond suit at that
Yes,
point?
it shows a diamond
Okay.
suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although,
Based on your partnership.
I'll put a caveat on that. There are times, kind of like the example I gave you earlier, you don't have a perfect bid. There are times when you just make the best bid you can make. And it might not be a good bid, but it's better than the others. And if you ever look at the bridge quiz, they do that where they give the experts, you know, like, what do they call that?
No, no.
It's
like
It's your call, I think is what it is.
What's the-
Anyway, they have all the experts. Basically, with the hands they throw in there, are hands that don't have a good bid. Because if it has a good bid, they wouldn't be discussing it. And you wouldn't have differences of opinion, right? If this is standard, it's not gonna be in that article. If it's not standard, there's no good bid. So a lot of times, when you hear that if you heard a two diamond bid come in there, it would be in the back of my mind that, you know, if we're not playing forcing the game, I would be thinking, he probably has diamonds, but he might be stuck. He might be doing this with 3 diamonds because he just wants to force for one round and he doesn't have a decent bid to make. So, but most of the time he should have diamonds, but he should be feeling a little bit queasy once there.
If he had diamond stop, would he just bid 3 no trump?
Yeah, if you have exactly right. If you have diamond stop and you don't have 4 spades with your partner, you don't really normally need to show. Like typically, you could bid two diamonds if you had a really good hand and you're playing 2/1. Say you have 20 points. Well, we might be looking for slam, so I don't want to use up any room. So I'll bid 2 diamonds first. But say it had like 13 points. We don't have slam if you bid 1 club and 1 spade, right? So then, like you said, I just bid 3 no trump. So the point is, conserve space when you need to, but if you don't need to, if you know the contract is 3 no trump, as soon as you know it's 3 no trump, just bid it. Like, if you keep bidding, what are you doing? You're helping the defense.
Good
Well,
question.
Yeah, sure.
All right, I don't see a box here for four-suit forcing. Is it an either or deal?
Yeah, that's what it is. It has,
You do one
see,
round
it
and
says
that's it,
fourth,
otherwise
see it
it's
says
four-suit.
fourth SF,
Yeah,
that's four-suit forcing. And then
okay.
you can play it one of two ways, either one round or game force.
Yeah, so you
What I
check, if you
suggest
check
is
one
One or the other.
round, then, that's it. That's not
Right.
four-suit forcing.
So, well, it is, but it's only one round, so it's not really that useful.
Right,
So,
right,
so usually, most people play, and I played four-suit forcing.
yeah.
The other thing, sometimes you have one club, one diamond, one heart, and say you have spades. And you wanted to let your partner know that you have spades. Well, you can't pick one spades because that's just four-suit forcing a game. It doesn't say anything about spades.
Two spades.
Double,
Yeah, typically that's what people do. They'll just pick two spades,
two spades.
right? Because they got it, one spade is just, and some people flip them the other way around too. But most of the time, it's what you said, two spades is fine. That should also wake your partner up, right?
But you also have opening points then, rather than.
Yeah, well, you're telling them that, not
Not a
only I have
week,
opening
yeah.
points, but I got,
Diamonds.
I got,
A good
I
spade.
I got spades,
Okay.
yeah. So
You don't have to do two spades.
yeah, two spades, right? If I'm bidding two spades,
Then you have
So you
opening
say
points.
you're going to game, at least.
well, it's showing spades, so it's no longer four-suit forcing. The four-suit forcing is one spade, right? But typically, if I'm jumping to two spades, we're going to game, right?
Then you gotta promise opening points.
Like, what do I probably have? I probably have 5 plus diamonds and 4 plus spades. And I'm probably telling my partner, choose between no trump and one of my suits. But if you want to play in your suit, you better have a darn good suit, because I'm just telling you where 9 of my cards are, right, at least. So don't be surprised when I come down with a singleton
Yeah,
in your
Yeah.
suit, right? Like, if that surprises them, get a new partner, right? Okay. So that's four-suit forcing.
What's that?
And
Glad Rod's not here.
now, one thing, now when you're interfering with opponent's strong bid, most people, it's 2 clubs, right? That's their big bid. 2 clubs doesn't say anything about clubs, it means probably going to game, if not definitely going in. Some people, like precision players, they play 1 club as their big bid. And a lot of really good players, even if they don't play precision, they use 1 club as their big bid. Which is kind of, for most of us, uncomfortable, because now you can't open 1 club anymore to show clubs, and you probably can't open 1 diamond to show diamonds, because if you have clubs and you can't bid them, and you have your typical 13-point opener and you don't have a 5-card major, you don't want to lie in a major, right? So diamond becomes the catch-all bid, and that's what you see with the precision players. 1 club is their big bid, 1 diamond doesn't mean anything other than I don't have anything else to bid, but I do have an opener, right? Like, I might have clubs, I might have diamonds, I might be 4-4 in the majors. You know, covers a lot of ground. It's like your catch-all bid. But some of the big players, they like the 1 club bid. And the reason they do it is why?
Well, it shows you right off, you got typically it's 17 or more points,
Right,
okay?
right, that's
So right
true.
off, you know, you told your partner that you got a big hand, okay? You didn't
That's
tell
true.
him what your suit is, but it lets your partner start start responding at a lower level in his hand.
Yeah, you hit both of them. Two things, you're telling your partner right away that you have a good hand, and you're starting at a low level, so you have room to investigate.
Is that alertable?
Yes, the one club bid is alertable, the two club bid is not. The big two club bid is not.
The big one club is though.
Yeah, it is. But,
So is there, do
and
you
they
ever
do
play
alert.
that?
What?
Do you ever play that?
I used to, but I quit. I used to do a lot of things that I would never do anymore.
And the reason I asked that, you know, a long time ago, 20 plus years ago, I played Sheikon. Okay?
Like what?
Called Sheikon. They invented precision after Sheikon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay? And Sheikon was a 17 plus bid at one club. That was a great, it was fun to play.
Yeah, well, basically, there's nothing wrong with it, but it requires a lot of partnership agreement
Yes, it
and a
did.
lot of details.
Luckily, I had a partner that played it.
Yeah,
so.
if you're playing with the same partner all the time, you can do that kind of stuff.
Now, the nice thing about Sheikon is if you open 2 diamonds, you're automatically asking for aces.
Yeah, yeah, so
I
there,
don't wanna know
That
about
was a
that.
great condition. I couldn't play it anymore now, but.
so basically, when they open a club or 2 clubs, based on what their big bid is, and by the way, you would never, no matter how good a hand you have, if you have a 3 suited hand, do not open it 2 clubs. I don't care if you have 25 points. Don't, why?
Sorry, if you said you have 3 suited hand,
I have a 3 suited hand, and I have 3 suited, I'm 4,
Three,
4,
three,
4,
three.
1.
okay?
Yeah.
4, 4, 4, 1, or 4, 4, 5, void, something like that.
and don't open 2 clubs then?
Never. Why? You tell me why.
It's so hard to show all 3 suits.
That's the point.
You've cut out a bidding level.
You don't have enough room to investigate all your
All right, makes
possibilities.
sense.
So-
All right.
Well, hopefully your partner will tell you, help you.
Well, if you got 25, if you
If
got
you got
25
three of
points, you
them,
ain't got much.
He's bound to pick one of them,
No,
if
he's-
not the first round, the
But
second
he'll-
round.
It
He'll
might
pick that
be-
singleton at the 2 club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, the point is, you're not gonna be able to, once you start at the 2 level, you're
There's a
never gonna be
rebid
able to
issue.
show all 3 of your suits. You're gonna get too high, too fast, and it's gonna be bad for you. And typically, when you pick up a hand, even when you have a really big hand, when there are 3 places to play, you should think about not opening the 2 clubs.
Well, the other thought, school of thought, is it's okay, 4, 4, 4, 1, you say 2 clubs, they say you're singleton a diamond.
They're gonna
You
say
bet
2
all 4
diamonds
covered.
almost for sure for 2 diamonds waiting is what you're gonna hear, right?
Oh,
2
okay.
clubs, 2 diamonds, now you're gonna bid one of your suits, and before you know it, you're gonna be guessing at the 4 level. And you might be at the 4 level when you belong in 3-0 truck because they have your suit. So you got it, the point is, statistically, it's worth it for you to keep the bidding low.
So since you're 4-4-4-1, you're gonna open it 1 club or 1 diamond, depending on, you know, which one.
Yeah,
you
right,
got.
I'm gonna be bidding 1 club or 1 diamond, and if, and then I'm gonna look to drive it to game.
So if
My
you
other
have a
names.
2 club opener, you just automatically, I'm just gonna open my darn 2 clubs, you gotta think it through all the way.
Yeah, when you pick it up, think, you
Yeah.
know, am I gonna be able to show all 3 suits before we get too hot? If the answer's no, don't do it. And with a 3 suited hand, that'd be never. Okay. And that's why people like the 1 club, is because they want the room. Conversely, when you're on the other side of the table and they're doing that, what do? You wanna suck, you wanna make them guess, you wanna take the bidding room away from them, right? They're trying to maximize the bidding room, you're trying to minimize the bidding room. Now, if you're vulnerable and you have a flat hand, you know, that's just suicide, right?
Right.
You'll bid, they'll double you, you'll go for like 1,700. And you'll never do that again, right? So,
It was not with that partner.
yeah, right. So, when do you interfere? When do you interfere? This guy, like, you can't be, well, gosh, they got a big hand, I better not bid, right? When do you bid?
With a long suit.
If you're
Yeah.
long suit and distribution.
Distribution is what you're looking for, and it's, and you don't want unfavorable vulnerability. Like if you're vulnerable and they're not, it's pretty dicey to be digging in there. But if they're equal vulnerability, give it a shot. And if it's favorable vulnerability, give it a bigger shot. Like I've done this where they open 2 clubs. Opener did that. Me. I've made that bid lots of times.
And that would be weak though, right?
And
Yeah.
you can be sure it's weak if they don't. And they are vol. I'm not vol.
Yeah.
So would that be saying you have 7 hearts then? The 3 hearts?
That would be if they would have been 1 club and I would have been 3 hearts, it would be showing I had 7 hearts. But now, I'm thinking that they have game for sure, and looking at my hand, I might even think they're likely to have a slam. And so you're right, if you want 1 club, 3 hearts, I got 7 of them. Usually. But if it goes 2 clubs, 3 hearts,
6.
I want to get in the way. Forget 6, I'd be doing it with 5 if I'm not going, and I have. Basically, think about it, if you're behind me, this is the second opponent. What are they going to do? No matter what hand they have. Say they have a good hand, what are they going to do? Say they have a good hand behind me.
Opener.
They like a double, but that might be perceived as negative.
Yeah, typically double would be perceived as negative, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
basically, the point is, as you're squirming here, they're going to be squirming at the table. The chances are they're looking at that you're not vulnerable too, and I might have 7 hearts. I could have 7 hearts. If I had 7 hearts, I would do it. But I would do it with 5 if I'm not vulnerable. As long as I had some shape, like 5 hearts and a singleton somewhere. I'd be in there at 3 hearts. And what I do? Just like you're squirming, they'd be squirming. Even if they're great players and they're not squirming, I took away all that space from them. And one of my least favorite stories at the bridge table, I was playing with a good partner, and we were playing against John Zillick. Any you know who John Zillick
Yeah.
is? He's probably the second best player in Houston behind Eddie Moore. He is really good. And I forget, either my partner or I opened 2 clubs. John made this kind of bet. He was not vulnerable. We were vulnerable. He wasn't. He jumped in there with like 3 hearts or something. And we doubled him. He went down 1, 3, 5, 8, 11, 14, down 7. We got him for 1,700.
Wow.
It was wow for him.
Oh, I know.
Good thing we didn't smirk or anything. After the round was over, we looked. We had a vulnerable Grand Slam our way. We were playing, it was the kind of game where we were playing against all good players. it was a grand slam that over half the field was getting there. We got an average minus for that 1700.
For heaven's sake.
Well, basically, he had nothing. He had nothing. All it took was like 2 tricks, right?
At opening 2 clubs? Or
No.
the guy behind
No.
you?
He was
did
the
it
one.
pretty hard.
He was the one with
Interfered.
the 3 hearts.
Oh, okay, okay.
Interfered.
And he got a good board. And we were very happy that we didn't snicker or anything.
At 1700, he got a good board?
Sure,
Yeah.
because we had a vulnerable grand slam.
Oh my,
So anyway,
that's interesting.
the point is, if you're not vulnerable and you have distribution, it's usually worth your while to get in there. Like if you're flat, it's usually not worth your while, especially if you're flat and you have 11 points. Like, don't be bidding with that. Like, you got nowhere to go. They probably don't have a slam, and they'll probably double you into the next county. So, so it's not points that makes you interfere. It's distribution and vulnerability. And there are a couple things you could do in addition to just bidding here. There's a common convention called MAVI.
Yeah,
And you don't need to do this, but I'm just gonna mention it because people will probably play it against you even if you don't want
I
to.
played it.
What it is if you double, and we're talking here, right, over the 2 club bid or the 1 club bid.
Oh, I forgot about
The
that.
double is for what?
I forgot.
Majors.
Okay.
Right, double, right. The double is for the majors and the other bid is no trump,
The minors,
right.
and you can bid clubs and diamonds, it's okay, it's natural.
Yeah, you could bid any long suit, but if you're a 2-suited hand,
Mm-hmm.
if your 2 suits are both majors or both minors, that's where Matthew comes in. So it's really popular. If you don't want to play it, it's fine. But if somebody, they should tell you that but they should tell you not Matthew. That's unethical. They should tell you what the bid
That's only
means.
against precision players.
No, anybody.
Anybody, okay,
Anybody. It's over there. It's over there. Strong 2 bid.
okay.
Double for the majors.
What about before, when they're playing precision?
Same thing. Over 1 club. Same
Okay.
thing.
And are you saying you have 4-4 on the majors to make that?
It depends on the vulnerability and the rest of your hand. Like I would, at least 4-4, and I wouldn't want to be flat. Like I wouldn't want to be 4-4-3-2, right? I'd want to be 4-4-4-1, something like that. So I'd like to have shape. Shape is what's driving me. And if I'm 4-4, maybe if they're 2 really good 4-card suits and I'm not vulnerable, I would do it. But I'd really like to be at least 5-4. Even better, be 5-5. The more distributional you are, the better it is, and the more favorable the vulnerability it is. Some people also use the same thing that you play over 1 no trump. Like when you do, some people play Capoletti or don't, or some people do the same thing over, like Julie Hopper does. She does Capoletti interfere with their 1 club or 2 club bid. So you could use a system that you already know, is what I'm saying, to show distributional hands. And you could use the same one that you play over 1 no trump. Or you could use Matthew, but at the very least, if you have a distributional hand and they're vulnerable and you're not,
Jump in
yeah,
there.
it's great if you have that 7-card suit, and a lot of times I will have that 7-card suit. But if I have a 5-card suit, it won't stop me if I'm distributional. And that's worked out well against some good players because when I did that, when I did the 3 hearts, went through their mind, just what went through yours. Well, this guy must have 7 hearts. So they figured their partner was roughing hearts because, you know, my partner supported me and they had a few hearts, so they figured their partner didn't have any. I had the ace king of hearts and they got the slam, like laying down the ace king of hearts, and they both went because I didn't have 7, I don't think 5. But 5 to the ace king was plenty for me.
Yeah.
And I suggest the same for you. And especially
Okay.
think distribution and vulnerability. Think tricks is what you're doing. Like at least I'm getting a couple tricks. And that's all John had. All he took was 2 tricks. In his long suit, he took 2 tricks and we got a below average board. And we were glad that we didn't say anything. Okay, let's start with the doubles. And I'm going to give you, before we go back to the convention card with the doubles, I'm going to give you an example that was in the new bulletin that most people get wrong. This is from the July 2023 ACBL bulletin. And it's on page 87, when you go down, go home and read about it, and it's Sternberg's column. That's the Ask the Doctor column. And anyway, he shows a sequence: 1 diamond, pass, 1 spade, pass, 1 no trump, pass, pass, double. This is you. That's your partner. You haven't shown anything, right? And part of what this is about, and it's an important idea in bridge, is the negative inference. Like if you don't do something, because you didn't do something, it shows certain information. So, when your partner passed over 1 spade, what does that tell you?
You might have some spades.
Right, he might have some spades, and what else does it tell you? He had a chance to double and he didn't, right? So if he has hearts and clubs in a decent hand, he would have doubled. So what goes through your mind is, he don't have hearts and clubs in a decent hand. Once he failed to double, he can't double later on to tell you he has hearts and clubs in a decent hand. It's too late. There's no, well, I found another ace. None of that. Like once you made the bid, you can't find another card in your hand and tell your partner.
Is that double like rescuing your partner?
That's what I'm asking. Remember, this is your partner doing this doubling here, right? You've done nothing but pass. You don't have to rescue you, right? You didn't do anything.
Right.
He's just, what does that double mean? So we already decided is when he passed the first time, it can't be for hearts and clubs, right? Or he would have done it the first time.
Right.
It can't be because he has a good heart suit or a good club suit, or he would have done what? You would have bid him the first time, right? If he has a good heart suit or good club suit, 11 points, you would have heard it. So you don't have that. Okay, this guy bid 1 no trump. What does he have?
12 to 14.
Yeah, maybe even 11 to 14, but yeah, we'll call it 11 plus to 14. This guy's passing. That means we don't have game, right? This guy does not have a great hand if he's willing to stop in one no trump. And what does it also say? He probably doesn't have a great spade suit or even two spades, right?
Yeah.
So what does my double mean?
Penalty?
Exactly, it's a penalty double. What this guy has is a hand that's something, and I have spades. I'm the one with the spades, kind of like one of you said it the first time, right? I think you said it, right, Joe? Or you said it, but, or maybe a couple of you said it. I'm the one with the spades, so they're bidding my suit, so I'm waiting for them to get in trouble. Well, they're in trouble. I have something like this, ace, queen, jack, XX, and an opener. I don't think they're making one no trump, and I want you to lead a spade. That's what that double means. Okay, thank you for coming, and I'll see you the first Monday next time.
Okay.
And we'll do the rest of the doubles.
Yes,